And when that happened, how soon before that had the talk started about going to WCW? Was it when the suspension happened, or was it even before that?
No, I didn't get suspended until I gave my notice.
Okay,
I
but
got suspended on a drug test that was 6 weeks old.
yeah, right,
Normally, you got the results within a couple of days. All of a sudden, I give my notice. They go retro and go, "Oh yeah, by the way."
yeah,
I mean, I'm at a show where I'm going to have to work twice. I remember I was somewhere in Jersey, some spot show. I'm going to have to work twice because Sean and Kev aren't there. Their flight is delayed. They're not going to be there. So I'm going to work twice, like I often did as Razor. I'd go out like early in the card, then come back in the main event. And the fans are getting screwed, but at least they leave there kind of go, well, it's still okay. I don't know. I'm doing what's asked of me. Then the agent comes in and tells me to call the doctor. You have to call the doctor for your results of your drug test. I go call the doctor. His wife says he's not home. He'll be home later. So I go back in the locker room, start getting dressed. Tony Gurria comes to me and goes, what are you doing? I'm getting dressed, Tony. I'm wrestling twice. You getting ready? And he goes, no, you call the doctor? I said, yeah, he's not home. He's going, well, they want you to leave the building. I said, so you're telling me you know the results before I do? So this whole chain of custody thing's a bunch of bullshit, and you already know the results. So I said, I haven't heard anything yet. He might be telling me I have fucking cancer. I don't know. I don't know the medical results. Like, what's up? So I remember sitting next to Taker, and he was like, fuck, why don't they just push him out the door? And the thing about giving your notice was Vince's contract at that time was a 1-year deal that rolled over, and you were guaranteed 10 matches at no less than $150 a match. So you're guaranteed $1,500 a year, and you give Vince everything. You give him all your rights, all your shit, all your everything for $1,500. Now, you got paid way more than that, but it wasn't guaranteed. So all I wanted was to talk shit over. And but the contract I had waiting from WCW was, if I choose to show up, I am guaranteed this, but I'm not required to come to work for WCW. So I had this big shot agent out of Hollywood and the big shot lawyer, so I had everything stacked in my favor, but Vince wouldn't guarantee anything. Now I've seen an interview that he did after that where he said, I wasn't giving out guarantees at that time, and he goes, you know what, I don't blame him. I might have probably taken the money too.
right.
So it's kind of like now Vince is cool with it, and I've been welcome back. I got a Legends contract on my calendar here. I just got to get it notarized.
Yeah.
I'm going to NXT next week to work with the young guys. Like, I'm finally back in the fold. But initially, Vince treated me like I stood him up at the prom. I mean, he took it personal, and I was making a business decision. I had been to Connecticut into the office and had a meeting with him and asked him, was there any way to increase my revenue? Like I said, hey, I recognize there's only so much money that comes in on house shows and pay-per-views. I said, but what about, and Vince, it was, it wasn't a publicly traded company yet. It was a family business. So if I made more, Vince really felt like it was coming out of his pocket. He made less.
Yeah. But
So I said, well, Vince, what about merchandise? Like, if somebody buys a Razor t-shirt, that's their money. I said, can I have a little bit more of their money? Or I said, what about Japan? Like, can I go there and get their money? And he was like, no. So I'm like, well, fuck.
right.
And Pac, Kid was out in California, talked to this guy, Barry Bloom, who's a big shot agent, who represented Jesse Ventura when Jesse sued Vince for royalties off videos and won. And I was the first active wrestler that he handled. And I introduced him to Goldberg, and he ended up, he still works with Kev and his movie stuff, and he works with Jim Ross. He worked with Dusty. He went on Rowdy Piper. He went on to be like a major, most influential agent in wrestling. But I was his first client. And Kid was out there just hanging out. I don't know how Kid ran across him, but he's out there in L.A. just hanging out. And he calls me, and he tells me what WCW's offering him. And I said, what they're prepared to offer him if he's available. And I said, oh, my God, find out how bad they want me. Because at this time, Vince has you so busy working and making appearances and being at Walmart grand openings, signing, by the way, for free.
Right.
Often, I made appearances and got zero. And Vince got all the money. I was talking to some of the guys the other day at the pay-per-view in Houston, and Jack Swagger had just come from some signing, and I said, "Did you get paid?" He goes, "Oh yeah." And I said, "Back in the day, bro, it all went to the office.
Jeez.
It's just how it was.
Yeah.
Just how it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. And you would get a memo. You have been personally selected by Vince to represent the company at this appearance, and you better not be late, and you better be charming. And by the way, then get your ass to the building because you got to wrestle and drive a couple hundred miles to the next town. You know, it's just the way it was. And I'm not trying. No one ever had put a gun to my head and made me do it. I mean, I was there because I was loving it, but it was different. It was work.
Yeah, and